Hi guys, it's nice to see you again. I'm sorry it's been a little while. I am going to try to make a promise to you guys that I'll do an update video at least once a week on my life, what's going on, any new developments, all that good stuff. So the reason I haven't been on lately, I have been taking a realtor's class. And between that and school and life, I've just been swamped. But now I'm most of the way through. I've got the big final already done and passed, and I just have the couple of smaller finals to do this next week, which I've been cramming for, and hopefully I will pass those as well. I still have to do the state exams and whatnot, but we are basically waiting on lawyers to finish sealing my records. As you all know, I have extensive ones, and you can't be a realtor until you have clean background. So we're doing it the right way with lawyers through the courts and thanks to cash, because it is costing thousands of dollars in a lot of payments, which he is helping me with to get me through this so that I can put it all behind me and be a better person and not have to tell people I'm a convicted felon anymore. So that's going to be awesome. They've actually got some of them done, but it takes months to get them all. And apparently, the ones that I was not convicted of are still sitting there. Any of the ones I went to court on, the ones they dropped before court aren't showing up, but the ones that I actually had to go to court and took a plea for are showing up. And what that means is 18 or 19 felonies are still showing up on my record, and it doesn't say whether you're convicted of them or not. So when someone does a background check on me, I look like a total shitheel. So, but we're getting there. We're working on it. The judge is approving all of it, so that's good because it has been a very long time since I've decided to do anything stupid. So let's just hope to continue that, right? Okay, so um, the next thing is, we're trying to plan kind of a Q&A video where one of you guys has actually had the idea to be asking me questions. So she's going to try to put those in video form when she gets them all composed and send them over to me. And then I will do a back and forth kind of a cut video where I'm answering them to the best of my ability. And that will hopefully provide something interesting. And some of the questions, I'm sure you guys have similar ones still out there, which will be answered. So hopefully that all works out. I know she just needs a little bit of time to get them all together and whatnot. So fingers crossed on that. But either way, I hopefully none of my update videos are boring. My life isn't too eventful. I mean, things happen, but it's not like I think, for every little thing that happened that the world would love to know. So you guys tell me. But I did have some updates on my son, my youngest son, my oldest that's in the house, got his driver's license and he's doing really good. He's got a really good job opportunity coming up here in a week or so, so we're excited about that. And the little guy has written a sentence, copied it, but still without tracing it, he wrote a sentence that I can actually read all the letters on, which means that he's advancing very, very much over what we expected him to do towards the beginning of a school year. So we're all really excited about his potential and the good things that his school is doing for him as a whole, and that's wonderful. Besides that, the test that scares me is the Pearson VUE test. But again, you have to go in there with a fingerprint card when you do it, and that fingerprint card has to come back clean, or they won't even let you take that test. And that costs $100 a test, and it's a national and a state, so that'll be $200. So it would be in my best interests to pass that on the first try. So I'm going to study and study and study and make sure I can get that done here. It'll still be a couple of months before my records are all the way sealed, so I can take that time and just hit the books every day for at least 2 hours and make sure I know this stuff inside and out. Now, I wanted to tell you guys something a little bit interesting. Had a call from a blast from the past here the other day. We have had each other's phone numbers because we do have a daughter together, and so every so often she does something stupid and we have to touch bases in between and try to figure out how to fix her whatever she did. sometimes, you know, here and there. I'm talking about like maybe once a year, you know, we'll speak. And even when she's doing good or whatever, it's not always when she does something stupid. I mean, all kids do dumb things sometimes, um, but I got a call from Wade, and he brought it to my attention that the way I told my story might not have been the way he remembers things. So I just want to be clear on something. Just because you remember things a certain way, you know, doesn't mean there's not another side of the story. Sorry, my contact is giving me problems today. Um, there's always another side to the story. There's always someone else's point of view, and there's always someone else's perception. So I don't want you guys to think for any reason that that I didn't either miss things or misconstrue things or tell things in the way that my mind remembers them. And my mind wasn't exactly clear at the time all this stuff happened. So I do want to make that clear. It was a little interesting that for some odd reason he was concerned that I didn't paint him in a badass enough light. Um, and I do want to clarify that our original like Mexican mafia connections and a lot of the stuff, the connections were made by him. I ended up taking over when I went from kind of an innocent in all of this, which I was at the beginning. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't start thinking on bigger levels as far as money or trying to get me free drugs or, you know, things of that nature. I didn't start, what's the word I'm looking for? Elevating my views on these things until a little bit later. There, at some point in time, did become a time where those guys refused to deal with him and would only deal with me because I was businesslike. But he was upset that I didn't clarify that he was the one who made those original connections. So I wanted to do that. I guess give credit where credit is due. Not that it matters. Now it has been a lot of years. So I don't really think that it is too much of something that has to be distinguished, but just in case he happens to play this, I'm sure he's still mad. But I just did want you to know that he did have a very important role to play in all of this, both good and bad. It wasn't all bad between us. We were very happy for at least a year of the time we were together. We just both didn't prioritize our relationship over drugs, and drugs ended up tearing us apart in the end. Things, the way you perceive things when you're high, the way you do things when you're high, the way you think when you're high, none of it is healthy for any relationship. And in case you hadn't already guessed, I mean, it drives a wedge in any relationship, and it's doomed for failure at that point. I mean, I'm sure there's some very rare occasions where people can get through an addiction together. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's very much more likely and more common to see people that would have been good together destroyed because of their terrible choices. So I did want to clarify that because I was very surprised to get the call. I mean, I ended up having to hang up on him because he was actually kind of making me mad, and he had made some snarky comments on here, which I asked him to remove, and he did. Because again, it's all perception. It's how I remember things, and it's how I was feeling and I was thinking at the time. And this story is from my point of view. I'm sure there's other people that were in the story that will see things from different points of view. I'm sure Wendy, who I got in a massive fight with over, in my mind, something that she was perceiving an issue, I'm sure she would have had her own story. She did actually die of a heroin overdose a few years after all this stuff happened, which I thought was really strange considering she didn't do heroin. But I guess that's neither here nor there at this point. But I'm just saying that each one of the people that played a major part in the story are going to have their own version of events, their own memories, their own recollections. And I'm sure, being that we were all high at the time, our own lofty views of ourselves will put ourselves in a very different perception or position perceptively than the others will. So I I did want to be clear. I don't want to, I'm not setting out to make anyone angry, to tell someone's part of the story wrong, to forget or leave things out. I'm doing my best to recall things the way they actually were, as per the truth in my eyes and in my mind, in my memories. So I just wanted you guys to know that. So again, I will start posting an update video once a week, even if I don't have a lot to say. I'm sure we'll come up with something. If you guys want to hear about anything specific that's going on in my life or that I'm doing, feel free to ask me in the comments. Feel free to message me on Facebook. Feel free to friend me on Facebook. Please, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to my channel. We are still trying to grow it. I am still writing my book. My writing has slowed down a bit because I've been taking classes, but I will be doing both simultaneously and a lot more quickly here soon. So if you guys could please do me the favor of liking my videos, all the ones that you watch, subscribing to my channel. If you have friends that know my story and want to subscribe, the more we can grow the channel, the easier it's going to be to get my book published. When I'm completed with it, the biggest challenge of all is going to be to find an agent and a publisher and to get it out there, because I've seen very, very good writers not ever succeed just because they don't know the right people. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could do that for me. All right. Thank you all so much. It was really nice talking to you again. And again, please communicate with me. If there's anything I've left out, if there's things you want me to clarify, if there's now life things that you would like me to talk about, by all means, I'm an open book, so please feel free, okay? All right, thank you guys so much, and I will see you soon. A lot sooner than the last time, I promise you, okay? I'll see you guys next week. Bye.